There was a sound in my room. Not a noise. Not exactly. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't even want to be heard. It exists in the spaces between things, between breaths, between thoughts, between the moment you close your eyes and the moment sleep decides whether to take you. It doesn't exist when you search for it. It only happens when you forget to. The first time, I thought my ears were ringing. That faint internal tone people describe after exhaustion. A byproduct of too much quiet, too much dark. I was lying in bed, lights off, phone face down on my chest, the screen still warm through the fabric of my shirt. The room was wrapped in that late-night silence that doesn't feel empty. It feels occupied, the kind of quiet that presses inward, that makes you aware of things you usually ignore. Your heartbeat, your swallowing, the way your lungs hesitate between breaths. Then the silence shifted, not broken, not interrupted, compressed, like the air itself leaned closer, like the room decided to narrow its attention. And inside that pressure, something began. A soft, dragging sound. Slow, deliberate, not footsteps, not fabric exactly. More like someone brushing their fingers across material they didn't own, testing how it feels, learning what resistance means. It wasn't loud, it wasn't sudden. It felt intentional. I focused on it. The moment I did, nothing. The sound vanished so completely it made my stomach drop. Not faded, not trailing away. Gone. As if my attention had erased it. I waited. My body stayed tense, listening for a proof I hadn't imagined it. Seconds stretched longer than they should have. Nothing. I told myself it was imagination. That tired minds invent patterns. That silence becomes hostile when you stare at it too long. Eventually, my breathing slowed. My thoughts loosened. Then I stopped paying attention. And it came back. It wasn't louder. It wasn't clearer. It was simply there again. Like it had been waiting patiently for me to look away. That's when I realized something was wrong. Not because the sound existed, but because it obeyed rules. Rules I hadn't agreed to. After that night, I started testing it. Not right away. Fear delays curiosity. It convinces you that ignorance is safety, but curiosity doesn't shout. It waits. So I lay perfectly still, breathing shallow, letting my thoughts blur the way they do before sleep claims you. When my mind drifted, the sound returned. When I noticed it, it stopped. Every time, no hesitation, no mistakes. It learned my awareness faster than I did. I live alone, no pets, no ticking clocks, no open windows. The walls don't shift at night. The floorboards don't creak. The pipes don't groan. The room doesn't whisper. It listens. By the fifth night, the sound was closer. Not louder, closer. As if distance no longer mattered to it. As if space had stopped applying. It felt less like something entering the room, and more like something forming inside the quiet. That was when I noticed the pressure. A subtle heaviness at the foot of the bed. The mattress sinking, just a little. Not enough to see, enough to feel. Enough that my legs instinctively tensed. I didn't look, I didn't move, I didn't listen, or at least I pretended not to. The sound continued, slow, patient, satisfied. Here's the mistake I made. I thought fear would protect me. I thought panic would make it leave. I thought if my heart raced fast enough, if my body stayed alert, it wouldn't come closer. But fear only made it retreat temporarily. What it truly needed was permission. And permission comes from calm. So I relaxed. Not fully, just enough. I let the sound exist, stopped tracking it, stopped measuring it. I let my breathing slow. The mattress dipped deeper. The pressure became undeniable. The air grew cold around my ankles. Not cold like temperature, cold like absence. Then something touched me. Not grabbing, not gripping, just a careful pressure, like fingers learning the shape of my body, mapping, memorizing. The sound changed then. It wasn't fabric anymore. It was movement. Measured, quiet, practiced. That's when I realized the truth. The sound wasn't the thing. The sound was what it made while deciding where to touch me next. I don't know how long I stayed like that. Minutes, hours. Time doesn't behave properly when you're pretending not to notice something that knows you're pretending. Eventually, exhaustion pulled me under, and that's when it finally climbed onto the bed. I woke up just before morning. The room looked normal. The bed was flat. The silence was empty again, except for one thing. My phone was on the floor, screen on, recording, 8 hours of audio. The file was silent, except for the final 30 seconds. In those last moments, there was breathing, not mine. And then a sound I recognize now, soft, dragging, right next to the microphone. If you're listening to this in bed, and the room feels unusually quiet,